Let's head deep underground now for another up-close look at how some of the richest people in America are coping with their deepest fears about the end of the world. Whether it's a nuclear meltdown or World War III, if you've got the cash, you can ride out the apocalypse in serious luxury. ABC's David Wright got invited for one very strange sleepover.
In a world full of threats, it can be hard not to think that the society we take for granted could collapse in a heartbeat. We're headed to a place where they take doomsday very seriously. Part of the secret to surviving the apocalypse is being completely off the grid. In the middle of nowhere, checkpoint here. Yup, we have arrived.
Each half of this door weighs 16,000 pounds.
Wow. A structure the U.S. government built with doomsday in mind.
So JFK was here?
And which Larry Hall repurposed, imagining a different doomsday. It's a luxury condo complex deep underground.
We could go to the bottom of this thing in 29 seconds.
15 stories down.
Security and sick bay.
Let's come in this way and get you settled in your rooms.
We're here for a sleepover.
Come on in here. This will be your digs for a night.
Your average bed and breakfast is not this heavily fortified.
All of the exterior walls are 9 feet thick.
The structure is now a luxury condo tower. The condo's going for $1 to $5 million a pop.
Ask yourself, are you prepared?
There are companies that cater to the apocalypse.
Introducing Wise Company Gourmet Emergency Food.
Survivalism for the Martha Stewart set.
Bon appetit. Yeah, that got a lot bigger.
This is what's been going on our borders. This past Saturday, more than 10 projectiles fired from Syria hit the Israeli Golan Heights. The fire was spillover from the civil war in Syria. The IAF responded by targeting 3 Syrian regime positions, including 2 tanks and a heavy machine gun. Israel submitted an official protest to UNDOF, the UN observer force on the Israel-Syria border. But it didn't end there. On Sunday, several more projectiles were fired from Syria. The IDF responded by targeting 2 Syrian regime artillery positions and an ammunitions truck. Israeli civilians were instructed to stay away from open areas near the border. After reports of even more fire from Syria, bullet holes were found in an UNDOF post near the border. The fire isn't just coming from our northern border. On Monday, a projectile was fired from the Gaza Strip at Israel. Early Tuesday morning, the IAF responded by targeting 2 Hamas terror installations. It's been an active few days, but the IDF continues to keep its citizens safe.
A watchdog group says taxpayers are funding animal tests for homemade abortions. Our next guest analyzed the government data. Joining us now is Alyssa Hackbarth. She's with White Coat Waste Project, a bipartisan coalition opposing the government spending on animal testing. She's also a weekly contributor to the Weekly Standard. Alyssa, your group reports the National Taxology Program is engaged, or at least plans to be engaged, in animal testing using herbs to induce abortions. Besides how disturbing this is to a lot of people, why is the government conducting these tests?
They want to prove that the amount of herbs that these mice are ingesting equals the same amount of what a woman would take. To prove, they want to kill these mice in order to see how much it would take to kill a woman. Now, industry and experts have said that that doesn't equal out, and that the mice are fed more than 1,000 times than what a normal human would take.
Yeah, like I said, it can be pretty disturbing when you think about this on a large scale here. These herbs are available over the counter. You can buy them on the internet. Another disturbing part is that it makes it easy for homemade abortions, unfortunately. What have you learned about the dangers these herbs can do to women?
So when a woman takes multiple doses of these herbs, they can do impartial abortions. So parts of the fetus can still be stuck in the woman. It leaves them susceptible to infection, and other very dangerous and unhealthy symptoms can arise from those.
What is Congress doing to try to eliminate taxpayer waste like this?
We have teamed up with Congress to introduce the FACT Act. It's H.R. 816, and it is a bipartisan bill to bring light to what all of these tests are doing to these animals, what the CDC, the EPA, NIH are all doing. And it helps prevent the hardworking taxpayer from having their money go to disgusting and extremely outdated and wasteful testing on animals.
Well, we wish your group good luck with this bill, and hopefully we'll pass. We'll continue to follow it. Thanks so much.
And guys, this is what we're talking about, the microchip. I don't know if you can see it in my hand. It's the size of a grain of rice, very, very small. And the expert that we spoke with actually tells us that barcodes were introduced in the late 1960s. And back then, people thought, this is way too invasive and too weird. And now barcodes are so commonplace that we don't even think about them anymore. The expert tells us this will happen sooner rather than later.
Well, and Mel, you said that the technology's been around since the 90s or whatever, but I mean, have companies actually tried this? That's a different scenario.
Two of them, as a matter of fact. Both of those companies ended up going defunct. They tried initial public offerings. It did not go through, but you can bet somewhere, someday, someone is going to pull this off, and we could see those microchips in everyone.
That's interesting to think about. Melanie Michael live in Tampa. Thank you for that report.